So today I wanted to bring you a couple tips on relationships, and these are not my tips, but you guys know that I have the amazing opportunity to be in New York for something super secret, and I was able to meet an amazing woman who has an amazing story, and she had the bravery enough to write that entire story into her book. She had a child at 18, she had different abusive encounters, and this book is about relationships. It's about being a strong woman, raising her daughter, how she lives out her life, and just how she kind of gets through. And each one of the chapters in the book is a different person or a different love of her life. And I haven't read the book yet, but I talked with her a little bit. She has just some of the most amazing tips and tricks for relationships, and not even tricks, but just tips and really guidelines that every woman or man even should live by. So it's an amazing book. Her name is Aprille Marie Franks, I believe. I'll link the book and kind of her information in the bottom tab below. You guys can go read a preview. There might be like an online book you could buy for a couple dollars. I know that her book is on Amazon. I don't know how much it costs, but speaking with her and just seeing her and meeting her and her daughter was an amazing opportunity. So because you guys asked me a lot of questions about relationships, I don't know if I feel right giving relationship advice. I mean, I have my boyfriend and I, and we're very happy, which I'm just so blessed to be able to be in a kind of relationship like that, especially because of what's happened in my past. It's like complete 360. But as far as my personal experiences, I don't know how to channel that to you guys properly and stuff like that, but I know that you guys do have a lot of questions about relationships, so I guess I'm going to try to open up a little bit more about that here, just because I haven't in the past to anyone really, except for my boyfriend, which I think is why we're so close. But I wanted to give you a couple of her tips and tricks for relationships. Not even tricks, why do I say that? Because I'm always talking about makeup. I wanted to give you some of her tips for relationships, and just kind of 3 general things that she recommends for especially teenagers, but women of all ages. I asked her, what would you recommend to yourself at 15 or 16, or what would you recommend to your daughter? But this goes for any age as well, so keep that in mind. The first thing that she had deals with understanding relationships. You need to understand that relationships are about loving yourself. When you love yourself, you won't surrender yourself into an abusive relationship. You need to understand that in order to love somebody else, you need to have self-worth and self-esteem and love for yourself. If you love yourself, you know how to treat yourself properly. You know how to console yourself. You know how to kind of handle a situation. Then, when you're in a relationship, you're able to channel that to the other person. You're able to love them properly. You're able to speak with them in a humane manner. Instead of yelling and screaming at each other, you guys can talk like civilized people. Because you love yourself, you respect yourself, and you respect your partner as well. You need to love yourself and have your own identity. Don't lock yourself into a relationship. When you become too clingy, or when somebody becomes too clingy to you, you're not respecting yourself enough, or they're not respecting themselves enough. Of course, you need to be close, you need to bond, you need to be connected, but do not surrender yourself to that identity. Be your own identity. Have your own friends, have your family, and be your own person. Like what you like. Do what you like to do. If someone loves a certain food, that doesn't mean you have to love it. Of course, maybe now and then it'll be nice to make for them, for dinner or something, but have your own identity. It's great to have your own friends. Now, if there's a friend that isn't doing something good for you, maybe a friend is a backstabber or something, or a family member who isn't a good influence on you, definitely ask whoever you're with or your partner, their opinion, and definitely take their opinion, but don't let somebody else control what you do, and don't control what somebody else does. Be supportive. Whether the decisions are right or wrong, support them and say, I do not support this decision, but I support you. And self-love is what allows you to do that. Self-love allows you to have your own identity, to have your own family and friends that are good for you, and take honest opinion and feedback from other people so you can see it from their perspective as well. So, I know a lot of you guys may not be in a relationship, and that's perfectly fine. Do not rush in, just wait, do whatever you need to. But in the event that you are in one, or in the event that maybe you've had one in the past and something went wrong, or maybe you're looking for one in the future, don't go searching for a relationship, but if you don't already have one, just keep these things in mind for even your family and your friend relationships. And if you ever do get romantically involved with somebody as a boyfriend or girlfriend or things like that, they are things just to keep in mind. Her second tip is not to keep up with the Joneses, and I think this is especially important for teenagers. I know that a lot of teenagers think they have to do something to impress a guy or a girl, or they have to do something with a guy or a girl to be cool in a social situation, and one of her biggest tips, which I completely agree with, is do not rush into anything. Listen to your heart, listen to what you're comfortable with. Don't be pressured, and this goes for anything in life, not just relationships, but don't be pressured. And again, it all circles back to that self-love. Love yourself enough to make decisions that you will respect yourself with in the future. Think 10 years down the line, is this going to be something I'm proud of? Think, is this somebody that I really appreciate, that I even want to be in a relationship with? Don't just get a boyfriend because everybody else has a boyfriend. Don't date the lead guy of the football team just because he's the lead guy of the football team. I don't even know what that position is called. If you are ready to date somebody, date them because of the way they treat you and that you appreciate them and that they respect you. And even throughout the course of that relationship, make sure that you respect yourself and do things not because someone else wants you to. Don't date someone because your friend wants to date them or to get back at somebody else or to help, and it just creates these webs of tangled stuff. Be true to yourself and just kind of step away from everything unless you really know someone who you're friends with, who you want to be in a relationship with, and really respect yourself through that entire thing. Don't feel pressured, and if someone ever does try to pressure you, you need to A, talk to them about it, B, talk to somebody else about it, and see if they don't stop pressuring you or if it's too much. You need to leave that place and love yourself and get to a better place. Our third tip is to understand that you can only control your actions and not the actions of others. I personally agree, and I think this is huge. The second that you believe you can control someone else, the relationship is basically over. You need to love and respect yourself, and they need to be able to do that too. The second that you start going and trying to control what they do, they're going to get reserved and push away. Same with you. If they try to control and, and contain what you do, you need to tell them this is not all right. Now, there's a fine line between controlling and protective, and you really need to talk with whoever it is you're in a relationship with about where those fine lines are. And always be open to opinions. If somebody, let's say that you have a friend who's a backstabber or who your partner thinks is a backstabber, you need to listen to your partner's opinion and hear them out. Hear them why they think this person is a bad stabber, or hear why they think this person is not a good influence in their life. But don't let them just say, oh, you can't talk to this person anymore because I decided you're not going to. That's not all right. If you have had like family dinner nights for the last 10 years and all of a sudden this new person is in your life and says you can't do this anymore, of course you have to say, this is my identity, this is what I do, you're welcome to come, or if they're not, then just don't invite them, but just say this is something I do, this is someone who's, this is my family, this is what I do. Now if this person has a valid point and says, well, your family does this to you, they do this to you, they take your money, they lie to you, they some sort of situations are like that, you need to understand the outside perspective as well. So don't let yourself be controlled, and do not control somebody else, but always take constructive criticism and always give constructive open criticism as well. And bottom line, make sure that you support one another. Even if your partner is doing something you don't support, say to them, I do not support what you're doing, but I support you as a person. And supporting you as a person means helping you step away from this thing that isn't good for you or isn't good for our relationship. And you should really find someone who does the same for you. So those are her basic tips for kind of relationship guides, some things that she would recommend to teens or other women in general, and things that I really did agree with. So sorry that I don't have a lot of these videos. Let me know if you guys like these kind of videos or not, but I really just wanted to share what she kind of shared with me because I think it'll help a lot of other women out there. So I love you guys so much. I really hope that you did find this helpful and informative, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.